In Canada, 28,000 people died last year awaiting a medical procedure or diagnostic. 6.5 million of us don't have a family doctor at all. It's a very well-known crisis. So who loses when immigrant healthcare professionals leave the country at 36% above average compared to all other immigrants? I could go, on and on. I mean, we talk about doubling our non-U.S. trade volume, for example, but seasoned executives with the global Rolodex that can help to connect us into all of these business relationships are leaving the country at 193% above average. These are exactly the very people who are recruited here to help Canada address its most pressing needs. And when they leave, our needs do not leave with them.
The Institute for Canadian Citizenship, ICC, together with the Conference Board of Canada, just released their latest Leaky Bucket report, which is named that way because, apparently, Canada is draining its top talent. Here are the shocking headline figures.
A new report is casting doubt on Canada's ability to retain highly skilled immigrants. The report was commissioned by the Institute for Canadian Citizenship. It states that those highly skilled immigrants are the most likely to leave Canada within their first 5 years living in the country. Statistics also show that the higher the level of education, the more likely someone is to leave. People with a doctorate are more than twice as likely to move away from Canada than people with a bachelor's degree. The Institute also found that 1 in 5 immigrants leave Canada within 25 years of being accepted as permanent residents.
1 in 5 immigrants leaves Canada within 25 years. More alarmingly, most of those departures happen within the first 5 years. So much for settling down, eh? Canadians, we don't just lose people slowly, we leak them fast. But wait, it gets worse. The higher someone's education, the more likely they are to leave. PhD holders? Yeah, they're nearly twice as likely to leave Canada compared to those with just a bachelor's degree. And if you're not seeing good income growth after arriving here, say your salary stagnates, you're almost 3 times more likely to leave, according to the report.
What percentage were just not qualified? Like, some of it's probably bureaucratic, but some of it may have to do with not being able to meet Canadian qualifications. So how many are we talking about? And what percentage of those people just wouldn't make the grade in Canada?
That's a lot of math, and I don't have a napkin here on the studio to be able to do all the full calculations for you, but I can give you a sense of it. In Ontario alone, there are an estimated 20,000 internationally trained nurses, at least 5,000 internationally trained doctors, and even if you want to take the whole accreditation thing out of it, the immigration system is now becoming so restrictive that we are about to deport people, Americans, who are already in Canada, already working as doctors, serving 2,000 patients in some cases, and not granting them permanent residence because they don't have enough points to qualify. The system has become so restrictive and competitive. I could go on about this. I think the issue is there are many, many people who are very qualified. The laws of commerce may vary between Canada and Singapore, but the laws of physics do not, and our kidneys still work the same. There are many people who are qualified here who are prevented from becoming doctors because they can't seek residencies, for example. 90% of residencies, which are required to complete medical school, are off limits to international medical graduates, and we don't exactly tell them that before they come. So this talent is sitting on the sidelines when it could be on the front lines where we need it so very desperately for our own well-being. This is not an act of charity, this is an act of self-interest, and we ought to pursue the retention of this talent to keep them on our team.
So, Canada is great at attracting the brains. But holding on to them? Not so much. This isn't just any group leaving. It's the very people Canada says it needs. The report highlights that the biggest leavers include engineers, IT professionals, scientists, senior managers, and people in business and finance. And get this, for healthcare workers and scientists, the 5-year exit rate is particularly brutal. Some leave as early as within 5 years. So, why is Canada losing its crown jewels? The report doesn't just shrug, it points to major structural issues. First, income growth, or the lack of it. When your pay doesn't match your education, especially for PhD holders, it's demoralizing. Then there's credential recognition. Foreign credentials remain a huge barrier. It's no secret many immigrant doctors, engineers, or scientists can't work in their field right away. And let's not forget belonging. The ICC is calling for improved settlement programmers, licensing reform, and a national talent retention strategy. Because, clearly, winking at people isn't a proper strategy. And it's not even uniform across Canada. Atlantic Canada faces the worst retention problem. According to the report, more immigrants are leaving from there than anywhere else. Meanwhile, most don't even try a second province. They leave right from where they first landed. So much for East Coast charm. This isn't just a story about feeling bad for immigrants, it's a warning for Canada's future. If we keep losing our top talent, slower economic growth, weaker innovation, fewer people filling vital roles like healthcare, engineering, and tech. That's not hypothetical. It's the cost of our own policy failures. And get this, the report forecasts that over 20,000 of the 380,000 permanent residents expected to arrive over the next few years could leave by 2031, if nothing changes. That's no small matter. So, where does Canada go from here? The ICC is calling for a national retention strategy. They want 1. A clear framework to track how many immigrants leave and why. 2. Reform of foreign credential recognition, so people don't end up driving taxis with PhDs. Yes, that's actually in the report. 3. Better settlement programs, not just throwing newcomers into the deep end and saying good luck. Without these, the report warns, Canada is just pouring water into the same leaky bucket. Here's the brutal truth. Canada's immigration policy may succeed in granting visas, but it's failing at keeping talent. We're attracting some of the smartest people in the world, and then handing them the boarding pass out. If Canada wants to remain a global leader in innovation, this report is a loud, ugly alarm. It's time to fix the drain. If you found this eye-opening, hit like, leave a comment. What do you think Canada should do to retain its best and brightest? And don't forget to subscribe for more no BS insights on global migration and its consequences. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.